handsome.
Permission to take Nick as your husband. Good start. Ryan?
Nick and Alice once had a poem that was running on Nick's engineering desk, and each week they would add a different verse to it. And I was hoping I'd be able to find and read that today, but I think that's lost to time and a broken cell phone. Instead, this verse will have to do. It's based on reflections on their past, the difficulties that they faced, and their future together, as well as a great love story of Philemon and Baucis, who are two people who spent their long lives together in the service of others through rough times and the good, and whose unchanging love for each other made them inseparable in both life and death. Patience paid to endless dream, a beau's mistake, unlikely seems. Those that lack cannot advance, meaning glean from passing glance. A smile half formed on the lips reminds I of stolen kiss. To place thyself in faith untried, as commands moon's embrace of flowing tide. Hope that if one shall pass, the other no. Longer the silence, longer the woe. But hail the vicissitudes above as naught but turbulence of love. Relent to allow a knowing breath. Rebuke thy tempest, a promise kept. Bear witness to oak and linden met. For all that was left before unsaid, meet at last in holy breath. A song of joy to make complete. Hold thee fast till souls replete.
I am so grateful that the weather is holding because I wanted to share an observation with you. As you all know, both Alice and Nick are extremely busy with their professional studies and work. They are crazy busy. But for the last 4 or 5 months, they carved out time for their future, for their marriage, and have spent considerable time with my wife and I studying and reading what we asked them to read. They read a book and completed a workbook together and spent many hours discussing the challenges of marriage. So many are prepared for the wedding day, but fail to prepare for the marriage. And I'm pleased to tell you that these two are prepared for both. I thank you two for that time. I asked both Nick and Alice to write and share with me about the moment they knew that they loved one another. I asked them for a couple of paragraphs about their courtship. I will now share them. This is the first time Nick and Alice are hearing what each of them wrote about the other. Ladies first. I'll start with Alice, what you wrote about Nick. The moment she knew. Alice, you spoke of several defining moments in your falling in love with Nick. It began for you on long walks in Vietnam, where you were together on a medical mission trip. As you realized you had feelings for Nick, he told you, no matter what happens in the future, I just want you to be happy. His selfless nature spoke to you then. You spoke of a summer's night in Lafayette as well. You were both doing research that summer. You two went to see the movie Moonrise Kingdom, and you shared that it was both powerful and touching to you and Nick. His sensitivity spoke to you that night. That night when Nick said, I love you, for the first time, you shared that you had already been saying to yourself that you loved him. You shared with me that the first time you met Nick's mom, you felt so welcomed and you could see the love between them. You said it was evident where a lot of Nick's attributes come from. Their emotional connection spoke to you. You also spoke of Nick's spontaneity and that you share a love for nature. You shared that you have moments daily when you recognize how fortunate you are to have him in your life and that looking forward to the future is filled with excitement. Here's what Nick wrote. Nick, you spoke of how easy it was to fall in love with Alice. You spoke of her confidence, her intelligence, sense of humor, and a shared common love of nature and travel. You said that she has a heart for service. You also shared that Alice brings out the best in you. She's enhanced your personality, made you a little less serious, and yet pushed you both to be better human beings in your personal and professional life. You told me about the two most defining moments in knowing that Alice was the one. Both of them relate to times you two were hanging out with your grandfather, Octon. As your role model, you were anxious for Alice to spend time with him. How better to introduce them than a round of golf with him and his crew of honorary pals. As the youngsters on the course, you two were given a hard time. Alice, Nick says you aren't much of a golfer and are not very fond of it, but you held your own, you endured the jokes and the tomfoolery. You won Grandpa over in the process. Nick knew golf was close to the last thing on your list of things you choose to do on a beautiful summer day, but you did it for him. Nick said, I admired her ability to take things in stride that day and loved her terrific spirit. Much later, when your grandfather was hospitalized, Alice, you pitched in and shared in the responsibilities of his care, giving Nick and his family a much needed rest. Nick said you were his rock during the final years of his life, setting aside her own needs to support his grandpa and his family. Nick says your giving and loving heart that you showed then is truly evident everywhere in your life. Nick says he feels incredibly lucky to have snatched you up before anyone else. He sees your future together as very bright. Nick and Alice have, they have written their own wedding vows so that you all can hear them. I'm awkwardly going to try to hold this microphone for them.
I promise to open my heart,
to open my mind,
to seek you out with joy,
to be your hope when you've lost your way,
to hold your hand,
to explore the world together,
to stop to smell the roses, and sometimes even buy them for you,
to be the spark that ignites you,
to pursue you and surprise you,
to make you laugh, even if it takes koala punches,
to stay young at heart and find time to play,
to keep your honey-do list full,
to get the honey-do list done. I promise
to encourage us daily,
to chase our dreams,
to step outside our comfort zone,
to communicate our feelings.
to grow together.
I promise to love you unconditionally,
to plant my roots wherever you are and watch your family grow,
to hold you in my heart no matter the distance,
to love you for the person you are,
and the person you will become.
Nick, do you have some rings?
I don't. He does.
Nick, repeat after me. With this ring I thee wed, and with all I am and all I have, I honor you. Alice, repeat after me. With this ring I thee wed, with all I am and all I have, I honor you. With respect to all faiths, I'd like to close with a blessing. We come together as family and friends to ask that Nick and Alice's marriage be a wonderful and blessed adventure. May their life together provide rest and protection for their souls. May their relationship be a source of love and wisdom for them, their families, and their community. May they continuously be shown what is desirable for their marriage. May their home be blessed as a place of love and peace. When life is done and the sun is setting, may they be found then as now, still hand in hand, still thankful for one another. Nick and Alice, with the support of your family and friends, having exchanged vows and rings symbolizing your promises to each other, it is my greatest privilege to pronounce you two husband and wife. Nick, you may now kiss your bride. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Nicholas Race.
You guys are so funny.